Morning. So today I want to talk to you about you must have the system in place before you hire the salesperson. Out here with the chickens again. This is my morning routine. And what I'm thinking about today is I worked with George 3 or 4 days ago. And George is the owner of a business that sells construction rental equipment to contractors. And we analyzed George's existing sales team, and we started to work on his process of bringing quotes in and developing those quotes into not just single opportunities, but into longer term clients with more business coming from those clients. And as we were talking, and after he analyzed existing Salesforce, what ended up happening was he told me that he had somebody come in who he said was different than him and the rest of the team, in that they were more extroverted, more outgoing. And that's topic for a different day. Does extroverted people person equal sales? No, not really. But that's a whole nother topic. Well, anyway, George had this person, and he said, Wayne, I think she might be good. I think she might be different than all of us. She's more extroverted. We put her in sales. I said, good. What is she going to do? What are her key accountabilities? What's her job role going to be? And he didn't really have a good answer. So, today, always about chickens. The system we have, I showed you on a previous video, is we've got these 10-foot by 12-foot pens. The chickens are 3 weeks in our brooder house. Then they come out here in pasture. Every day I move them ahead. I've got a dolly down there that was welded for me. I traded a few chickens for it. It was a good deal. We have a dolly to move them with. I know that I've worked on this, and I know that the process is I pull the feeders out, I move them ahead, I get my dolly ready, and I start moving pens, and then I come behind a water, right? I got the whole system, the whole process. It's not complicated, but I have it built, and I know seasonally in the farm what's going to happen first, and what we got to get ready and what we got to prepare as things are getting green. We have all these systems and processes, and if I were going to hire somebody, I'm not, because I like it and it's good exercise, but if I were going to hire somebody, I would already have the system and process in place. Very often in business, though, and very often with the clients I work with, they've been hiring salespeople, but they really don't have the system and process documented. They don't have a real sense for who is the ideal client or customer, what are the problems we're solving for that client or customer, how will we find those people, how will we get their attention, how will we take it to the next call, how will we move the sale forward, how is the salesperson going to come to you for coaching, training, so on and so forth. These are all things that you need to know. You don't need to build the chicken pens like I did. I could have outlined all this and designed it and then hired somebody to build them and then move them and work the system and process if I knew what it looked like. But you need to know what you're going to ask that person to do. That also helps you hire the right person when you really have the system defined. But at any rate, I want to tell you how I figured this out. I went to a farm, a guy named Joel Salatin, who was in the movie Food Inc., if any of you have watched that, and he is a pasture-based farmer in Virginia. He's an expert. He had a field day where for one day, I went down there and I worked through the farm. I measured all of his systems. I was a total geek, camera, tape measure, measuring out the size of these pens. I met some people there. I networked with some other farmers who I knew later on I could put in my phone to call for coaching and help when I needed it. And I read Joel's books. I got help. I found somebody else who had the system and process. Look, there's lots of businesses starting up that are SaaS companies and are new software companies and some new trendy idea, but there's loads of us like me who are like moving chickens every day, or like you, selling rental equipment or feed or equipment or food products, distributing food products, or maybe you're in construction, you're building pole buildings, sheds, industrial equipment, machinery. You're buying things at a lower price than you're selling them for, and you hire people to go out. That's much of what business is today. But you need the system and process design, laid out, sketched in a framework before you hire people. It's very helpful if you have somebody or something that you can use to put in a framework. So a framework for selling, a framework for the process, a framework for how you're going to coach, train, and develop people. I do that. Our company does that. You can find it elsewhere. You can find it in books. But then the second piece that is difficult is doing those things by yourself, not getting stuck and not having somebody to call to know what to do next. And I totally had that because I don't know, I didn't do this kind of intentionally. I knew, like, holy crap, what am I getting into doing this chicken farming deal and pig farming, and that's a whole nother video too. But I knew to build a network and have people on my team that I could call. And you've probably done that in other areas of your business. You've probably done that. You probably know that with things like your technical specialty, the equipment you operate, the machinery that you use, etc. You probably have those things. You have places to go for expert help. But sales, how to hire salespeople, how to coach them, how to develop them, how to check pipeline, how to make sure they're putting enough opportunities in without being a micromanager. Many of you probably don't have that. So take some time, even if it's a couple days away or a day in a coffee shop, and before you hire anybody, lay out what are the key accountabilities of the job. That's what I did with George the other day. I asked him, what are the key accountabilities of the job? What are what's the ideal client look like that I should go call on if I'm your salesperson? Where will I find them? What kind of problems might they have that I can float out there to see if I get a nibble? What kind of then solution do we have to fix those problems? How often should I call on them? What's my cadence, email, phone? What works? Industry literature, mailings? What resources do we have as a company to nurture those leads? You got to, write those things out, and then you get into how will you help me? When will you meet with me? How will you do that without being a jerk? All those things. So that's what we started writing down with George. And you should write those things down too. And again, likability, personality, extroversion doesn't necessarily equal sales ability. That was a long one. It's over 7 minutes. So hope that helps. If it does, please hit the like, please hit the share. I'd be grateful. Love to hear comments, questions that you might have about this topic or anything that I could cover. Maybe I shouldn't always shoot these videos on the farm, but it's what happens is I work with the chickens. I bring a piece of yellow paper out here with a marker, like no kidding, I've just started doing this. And as I'm doing multitasking, moving these dudes, I think of how it ties into the coaching and consulting that I'll do for the rest of the day, or did the last couple days with clients. It's good stuff. Hope you're having a great day, and talk to you soon.